You were in Oklahoma City for 9 years, and it now is starting to really, like, dawn on me when I see how good they are now. How do you feel when you see them, like, back to being, like, a team? Like, does it make you think of you guys at all?
No, I mean, I knew that the leadership there was smart enough to figure out how to continue to build the brand for one, and then build the team. When you have your first entry into the NBA is Sam Presti, you got great players like Russ, James, myself, Serge Ibaka. You got veterans like Perk. And as a young GM, Sam was like 30 when he was a GM. I didn't realize that. I mean, when I got 30 and I was 19 at the time, but he was 30 years old as a GM in the NBA. That's insane. So we all were going through this maturation process and just figuring out what it is to be in the NBA in these positions. And I kind of knew how smart Sam was, that he'll figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But the craziest part is like seeing the city itself. Because when I first got there, it was like one skyscraper building, not many hotels. It wasn't much going on downtown. It was just a raw city that hasn't been exposed to, like, it feel like it was exposed to the rest of the country. And now you go there, they have resort hotels, they got multiple skyscraper buildings, and building towards eventually having an all-star game there, which does so much for a city. You know what I'm saying? So I look at my time at OKC from that perspective, because we helped build a city up more so than just build a fan base for basketball. I felt like we built up the core and the culture of what this town is going to be about, and all of that stuff comes together. And I realized what it's like not having a team in your market as opposed to having one, So for us to be expansion and do what we're doing now, to see where they are now, I feel a part of it.
I had never seen, like, a connection like fans and players had, like I had seen in Oklahoma City, where when I walked in, the people at the, like, concession or the people that were taking your ticket felt like they were your family, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the thing was, you did grow up with that city, and that city grew up with you, and it felt like a family loss, and it was bigger than basketball. And the Warriors part of it was just like, all right, that'll add to the fire, but
Yeah.
It was really that this family had to separate.
Yeah, and I understood that, and I didn't underestimate people's feelings about me not being a part of that family anymore. I took that in and gave it thought and understood what it meant, and gave people their space and time to process it how they processed it, and then we'll have a conversation later. But I respected how real those feelings were and how real that family we built were. And I think regardless of me having that jersey on, it's going to still feel that way, because OKC now has done, how many years now? 15, 16 years of its existence. They really are into the alumni now. And I can feel that when I go back. I can feel that talking to my former teammates. And that makes me feel proud, because, like, we really started that organization off. And that's a testament to everybody there, because they built that family. We all did, but it was encouraged every day that, like, yo, this is who we is. This is who we are when we come to Oklahoma City. Only major sports town, sports franchise in this city. Everybody's rallying around us in the whole state. It felt that way.
And you know what? It's going to age really well.
I think so too. And even though it was rough for me with the fan base and some of the people that worked in the organization for a year or two, it was rough. But when I started to reflect on it, it was just like, it was special what we did, regardless of championships or not. I think that building a culture there so fast like we did, and building a core fan base, not just in Oklahoma, around the world. I see people still Thunder fans from those days. That meant a lot.
So clearly can't compare to Oklahoma City. And speaking of jerseys, your Sonic jersey is all over the world. But like Austin, Texas, your connection to Seattle is ill. I'm just going to ask you straight up. Do you want to be a part of the Seattle Supersonics if it was available to you at some point in your life?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I feel like that franchise, for one, is an iconic brand within the NBA. I feel like that market is a basketball market that needs the influence of an NBA team in that city, so to continue to inspire that city and bring and produce more and more basketball players. Because I believe that. I believe if a city has an NBA team, you will get more and more kids inspired to want to become NBA players, as opposed to not having a team. And it's a franchise I played for, so I have some pride for it. So, and I believe it will be back. I believe it will be a part of expansion in the league and to help run the team and help guide the team as they come back into the league. I would absolutely love that. And you know, when I retire, obviously I would. That's a dream come true. That's probably one of the only things that I would really lock in, like I would, you know, like I was playing again. You know, it would feel close to that.
And I know that you could truly walk in to a franchise, and I bet you our good friend Bob Myers would attest, because he's had countless hours of conversations with you about basketball.
I always enjoy watching other players. Even in high school, I always followed what I liked and players in my class and players that were coming out of high school after me. I always kept my eye on them. But I think once I got to OKC, and me and Troy Weaver, who's the GM of Detroit now, we started having these little conversations just about players in college and high school, what he's seen out of players, and we would have these conversations periodically, and I was just always interested in those. So every chance I get to bring him to the side to just talk about a game or a player, I would do it. And that's just started to build up my eye for the game. The different things I started to watch, the details that I started to watching throughout a game. And then each team I went to, I built that relationship with every GM, with Bob Myers, with Sean Marks, with Josh Bottlestein, James Jones right now. Like, we just talk ball. And I think having those conversations over the last 15 years has helped shape my mind to understand what it takes to be a professional, on top of my own experience as a professional. So I feel like, I can add value to any franchise just based off of my just learning over time, my experience as an individual player in this league as well, and just having the will to do something, So it's always been fun evaluating and seeing where the game is going.